quotidien. C'est sur
SonarFeed! Welcome to SonarFeed, where we tonight discuss full club integration.
Full club integration.
It's like a
Turn your computer.
Also, please at
We were
this
just
time,
listening
ladies
to that
and gentlemen,
great Toady
place your
song.
laptops,
Unbelievable.
iPads, and phones in quiet mode.
Quiet.
We made it 8 seconds. Welcome to episode 239 of the Sonar Feeds.
Hey, guess what? Rachel didn't murder any of us. Yet.
There is still time. There is still time. So, welcome to Sonar Feed, everybody. Thanks for joining us, either here at the Berliner
You're
Pub
welcome.
in downtown Renton.
Did anybody tweet that we're going live?
No,
You goes night.
that's your job.
Fine.
Yeah,
There,
this
we
is off
still
to a
do
Anyway,
good
it.
we
start.
have 4 people.
That's off to a great start.
Anyway, so we're on the internet live, I guess. Whatever.
Allegedly. Did we break into the internet?
We did. Yeah, we hacked the system. No. After last week's 100% technical failure, at which time we were in computer number 3, plug number 2, software installation number 2,
Beer number 8.
and that was before the show even started. So I don't even know what to say from there. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I am one of your illustrious co-hosts. I've been watching a lot of Desus and Mero. Anyway, I'm Tom Biro, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli. To my right, your left.
Why did you have to think about that?
He went.
It's pretty difficult.
I was like dragging it out a second.
I thought you were an intellectual.
I'll just be over here.
Yeah. Who are you again?
I'm Adam Weigel. On the Twitter as Weigel.
Have you been on Twitter in like months?
Nope.
Nope.
But his wife
You have
is.
a Twitter.
I have a Twitter. I use it occasionally.
Do you retweet your wife's stuff?
I do retweet my wife's stuff,
Cool. Yeah.
and then I go on there whenever breaking news happens to read the journal.
Things it tells you to
piece.
read?
Yeah.
In case you missed it,
Yes. Yeah. Although just those.
this person did something 18 hours ago.
Yeah. Neat.
No, I use Tweetbot, so I don't have that.
Oh, good point. Same. And to my left, your right.
Good evening, Mickey Turner. You can find me on the Twitters at TurnerESQ,
What does the ESQ stand for?
Esk or Esquire.
Oh, okay.
Whichever one you want.
Esk.
Do you have a website and things that people should check out?
Yes. Yes, I started a website just to detail all the legal shenanigans happening in the world of U.S. soccer.
That is a good use. Shenanigans is a
Yeah.
great way to describe
That's
that.
about the only way you could. It's socceresq.com. Easy enough,
Soccer-esque.
basically.
Sucker-esque.
Oh, hey. Who are you again?
Fuck you.
Should I change
My
your Twitter
far
handle?
left,
Because I think
Yeah.
I went wrong
far
there.
right
Because this says...
is...
SSFC Fody
That's what that
13.
says. So
It
should I
says,
change it to
I
fuck
just
you?
spent a lot of money on my vehicle this weekend.
I did spend an exorbitant amount of money
Right.
on my vehicle
So
this
before we
weekend.
get into any of the fun stuff, do you want to
Tinted windows.
tell a story?
So I decided to lift my Jeep because I was tired of running into
And
rocks.
that's not in like a Superman kind of way. In like a, you were trying to make the Jeep taller.
Yeah.
For those not in the know.
Like, for those of you not from South King County, it's where you
or you're not 18.
increase the ground clearance of your vehicle.
Yo, the haterade is started, and we're in like.
So I
minute
did
3.
that, and then I broke my steering linkage trying to adjust it, and had to have it towed to the dealership at. Well, I called at 9 o'clock. It got towed at midnight.
So I have a question.
Yes, I was sober. No, I was not happy.
That is exactly what I was going to ask. This is like last week when I had 15 ideas and literally everything I wanted to say. Someone just said it before I got there. Anyway, all right. So a few $100s later,
Yeah.
and by a few I mean more than a few.
And 24 hours stuck in Kirkland.
You still hit the 27-foot puddle in the parking lot like it was your job.
Well, I own that bitch now.
Emily has a question for you. She wants to know, are you from her high school, and is it still the 90s?
Yes.
Okay.
Was that to the first part or the second part?
Which Emily?
Cummings.
Cummings.
Yes.
All right, so we got a bunch of things to go through tonight. We'll play with some of our fun segments that we've been trying out that Adam has whipped up some production for.
They took a pause for a week.
Look, I hurt my back, and I couldn't literally get
Do you want to
off
tell
the
a story?
couch.
You dropped the
that's-
Totino's box, didn't you? And you needed the instructions. It's
Yes,
okay.
That's what happened on Easter. Yes, exactly.
Hey, shout out to the Steinberger. That shit is real.
Well, yeah, it's not fake.
Stop talking.
Yes.
Can I get like a little
Full.
tiny lager? Yes,
Tom
please.
needs a full.
I'm gonna have a full. Yeah.
I'll take a lager drink.
I gotta do. Mark will have it right now.
We're
in his
ordering
mug.
drinks.
No, I gotta wait.
I need. This is a new segment called SonarFeed orders beers.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole show?
Pretty much.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so we got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We'll have some tweets. We don't have a lot of Sounders things to talk about, although we do need to talk about full club integration,
Full club
which
integration.
is an amazing, amazing thing that came through this weekend that we'll read a tweet
Right.
about.
Friend of the show.
There's some cool stuff regarding Zach and charity event later
Steve
this year.
Zakuani.
There's some rain stuff to talk about. I don't really give a fuck about the Columbus Crew, but Mickey actually knows what he's talking about and has things that we should care about, whether
Right.
you like them or not. So we're going to talk about that. And we will tee up this weekend's Sounders game. They play Sunday
at 1
in Kansas
o'clock.
City. Good times,
Nice.
right?
I'll be in Oakland.
I'll be in Wenatchee.
I'll be at the Atlantic Crossing
I'll be in Tacoma.
with dogs, because that's a thing.
Dogs are nice.
Dags?
I just
I
want to
like
see
dags.
what the
You like
experience
dags?
of walking your dog through the Atlantic
You
Crossing
got a caravan?
to the back is. Because it's not like you can just sneak them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't come around the back.
No. Well, I mean, maybe, but
I don't think there's a...
yeah, you just toss them over. Maybe there's a roof deck and you drop down now. Probably not. Anyway, so we already got our thumbs down. This is amazing.
I think it was the Columbus Crew shot.
I don't really care. Do we want to do really boring things right now?
Do whatever you
Or
tell
we
me
wanna
what
talk
you
about?
want to do, and I'll make it happen.
Let's go to our favorite segment and just get it out of the way.
Sonar reads tweets.
Is that what the VO sounds like right now?
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Cool.
So let's start with the our friend of the show,
Wow.
Keith Costigan.
That's not what's on my screen. Oh,
Now it is.
Never mind. Now it is.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Friend
by
of the
your
show,
dumb-
Keith Costigan.
dumb
By friend of the
producer.
show, you mean he's been on the show.
Yes.
You know, some of us aren't a complete jackass to him.
So the best comment I heard about this all day today, before even getting into the story, is some people will go really, really, really far to try and prove that they're not a Timbers player. And I think that is the perfect response that I wish I had that level of comedic timing to come up with that. So anyway, the rumor tweeted from a Cal FC account that appears to be legit,
In fact, I'm pretty sure that is legit.
that Dave Clark responded, had a little bit of a conversation with. They have said that they will be restarting the team later this year in August, and that let's call it sometime play-by-play person, Keith Costigan, will be their manager, which is interesting.
manager in the European sense.
Well, I mean, it's basically like he's the manager of them. He's in LA calling German soccer, and then sometimes he calls the Sounders games.
That's okay. Sometimes the Sounders actually play.
He doesn't have to call any goals, though, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Mickey has a comment.
No, I have a question. Has he actually called any games this year for us yet?
I don't think so. Have
Yeah,
we had a Joe
yes,
TV game?
yeah.
We had one?
yeah,
One.
yeah. I'm almost positive.
So 1 for 3.
Almost positive.
I don't know. I'm either at the game or
Yeah, that's-
in a bar.
yeah.
So I can't tell. Either way, interesting. I did think it was curious we didn't hear anything at all. And then from some of the other conversations I had today, basically tell me that nothing is going to change. He will continue to be a play-by-play person for the time being.
Until their season starts?
But I don't know, like, Winalda coached that Atlanta Silverbacks team from, like, halfway across the country. He's like, oh, I'm video chatting in with the team. Like, I don't know. Either way, it's August-ish. Like, you don't know
what
if
tier
that's
is Cal FC?
I think they're coming back in a different level.
I don't know what
I'd have to look and see because they're coming back into a different
Right.
Are they like
thing.
MPSL or even lower than that?
It might be that or lower. Dave,
I think it was PDSL.
Dave got a response from them.
I thought it was PDSL.
What's a PDSL?
I don't know.
Public displays.
Well, I think the MPL
Google it.
The MPSL season ends in like August, actually. So I don't think it's that. So it could be
Pacific.
something lower.
Well, or they're just coming back this season, like starting the organization back up. I'm going to just peek on the Twitters and see what the conversation was. UPSL.
UPSL.
Starting in August.
All right.
Universal
If they're going to
Parcel
start playing
Service
in
League.
August, that means presumably they're going to start something else in
Everybody in the league
June.
wears brown uniforms
Wow. Okay.
with the UPS.
Oh, I got it. I'm just trying to see if you were going to carry this joke. For
They
a while.
drive trucks. They don't.
That's actually how they get paid.
Yes.
UPS pays very well, so UPSL is actually a really good idea if you think about it. If you have enough drivers
Right.
who play soccer.
It's like a pub league, but driver league.
Got it.
Okay.
What is the deal? They don't make lefts? UPS?
Yeah. They
Mostly
avoid them as
rights,
much as
right?
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For fuel efficiency.
Faster. Yeah.
TIL.
There's a whole Mythbusters
had no
episode
idea.
about it.
Anyway,
Pretty
so
fascinating. If it was on TV, it's true.
So Keith Costigan
Check
may
box.
or may not be the play-by-play announcer for the Sounders later on this season.
Right.
Cool. So that's the thing. I actually was really surprised when I saw this last night. Dave, I guess, had flagged it to us, and then I looked this morning, and there was no conversation about it at all, which means either no one caught it or no one cared.
I think that's it.
both may be worse.
Speaking of things,
Shout out to Max. Pub League sponsors are prettier.
Speaking of things that people care about, let's talk about something that Mark cares a lot about.
Mark is so excited about baby dubs. It is not even funny.
Super excited.
It's cute for a Malamute.
Baby dubs
You're
is
cute for a
super
Malamute.
cute. I could watch that gif of baby dubs yawning for like 4 hours.
I'm just curious when the University of Washington is actually going to rebrand themselves as the Malamute, since that's all they use.
But how many people do you think today applied to be the like host family for the next dubs?
Fucking everybody that
Like-
has a Malamute.
I don't know, but tens of thousands of people probably sent an email. Because what is it, 50,000 people go to that school at any given time?
Undergraduate is like
Undergrad.
Yeah, it's like
so
75.
At any given time. So let's just say for the last 100 years, 10% of people were like, I like dogs.
10% seems low.
Right? Anyway. Super cute dubs. though.
Really cute dog. Let's go back to it.
We go back to dubs.
Yeah, there it is. Just for a quick second. Okay.
Cool.
Next, the
Is the mud
tweet
off the
sake
screen?
of our episode.
Did you say tweet sake?
Tweet sake.
Tweet sake. That's a new one.
For tweet's sake.
So the origin of the title of tonight's show, sometimes SonarFeed host
Right.
Kyle Gervin
Friend of the show.
amazing tweet from the middle of Saturday night's S2 loss. It's good to see the second team really embrace the culture of the first team and prepare themselves for what it will be like to play with 10 men at the next level. Full club integration to a full club integration to a style is amazing to witness. I agree.
Can we
But seriously,
That's pretty impressive.
That was good. That was
and
good.
then they went to 9. But that's like somebody else
Wait,
was
wait,
like,
hold
oh,
my
shit,
beer.
we're gonna up the ante even more.
One. That's not enough.
That game finished. S2 lost 1-0. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the game finished with 19 players on the field total. So that was an interesting.
And sort of impressive that they had that.
Yeah, in front of 11,000.
That's more
in
than the
Sacramento.
first team has signed.
That's very close. It's extremely close.
Wow. Wow.
Speaking of Tide Pods,
So speaking of Tide Pods, today, Stephen Fry posted on the internet that if you've been paying attention to Steph on the internet in the last, year, he's been painting various rooms in his place, and he posted that he was looking for some advice from people who had done some work in their various rooms. And if you noticed, it's the laundry room, and there's Tide and some Tide Pods up in the corner.
By the way, Stefan is a very accomplished painter of his
Seriously.
domicile.
yeah, he's fantastic.
I'm like, he used more blue painter's tape than most people use in a significant portion of their life.
More than we've
Yes,
used to
some of
hold the
us-
microphones
some of us
together.
ever.
That's actually really accurate. So, anyway, so he posted that, and then Brad Evans, who will be seeing Brad Evans this weekend.
on the show. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Are
maybe
we going to
he'll play.
Kansas
I don't know. Is
City?
Brad
Yeah, right?
Evans even in the 18?
Is there something I didn't know?
Is he even he's just hanging out?
Yeah, he's still training.
So that's why he's making these personal threats to
Yeah,
our goalkeeper.
right?
Is eat the Tide Pods. Who tells your former keeper to eat the Tide? Brad Evans.
Brad Evans.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And then, of course, Steph had to respond and said that he was on a podless diet. You enjoy one for me. So, fun bants
Love
from
it.
the players
Love
on
it.
the internet. Emily says green painter's tape is better. Someone tell Steph. Emily,
Isn't
you
that
could
frog
probably
tape?
tell him.
Frog tape.
Frog tape.
Frog tape.
Might be. Yeah.
Yep.
So is it French?
What else you got?
Susie Rance has something going on.
So,
Wait, did you just boo Susie Rance?
No, I just booed myself for
Oh,
making
okay.
the
A
if
terrible
the frog
pun.
tape was
you can
French.
treat- You're
I'm
going?
doing. Yeah,
Go for it.
Yeah. So Susie says, "Sorry in advance." Is that how you want to read?
You're
Do you want me to read more?
Just
It's
keep reading.
okay.
Oh, keep reading. Okay, so Sounders at Heart tweeted,
Is it
the
plural
rumors
now?
are true. What's that?
Sounders at heart, yeah.
Sounders at Heart. Plural.
Sounders red card?
At Heart. The rumors are true. Rovalk, is that how you say it? Started a podcast. Listen to the first
Did you say
episode.
Rovalks?
I did.
I mean, that kind of is what it is.
That's what. That's.
I know. I
It's
know.
Ride of the
Just keep
Valkyries.
going.
They started a podcast.
Podcast.
Kind of like this one. The first episode, See, the problem is my audio is like a split second delayed in my ears, and so I keep tripping over my words like I'm drunk, and I've only had this little tiny
Adam's
little
drunk.
tiny beer. I mean, look how tiny this
Adam's
little beer
drunk.
is. And I've only had a sip of it.
The thing was he had like 5 of those liters beforehand, so
Shh. Anyways, they're starting a podcast. You should go listen to it. Coffee and Valkyries. Susie's doing it. She's fantastic. Yep.
You're here.
Coffee and Val.
That's the name of the first episode.
Okay.
Or
Cool.
the name of the show.
Awesome.
Hit it up.
Yep. Also, 150 years ago
There were not podcasts.
today at...
There were not podcasts.
Yeah,
then.
I'm not doing good with my words here, so I'm going to let Tom read this
This
one.
is a good one. 150 years ago today at Appomattox, Robert E. Lee unveiled the Confederate flag's final design.
It's just...
Which if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful white flag.
It's gorgeous, actually.
It is amazing,
Wonderful.
waving in the wind.
Okay, so another one from our friend of the pod, Brandon. I don't know much about this, but I'm sure Tom can fill us in. Interesting, Safeco Field is one of the ballparks with Clear this year. Clear is apparently a service that'll let you skip the lines by giving them your DNA.
Oh, yeah.
You only have to give them your
Not your DNA?
No,
Spit in
you
a
give
cup.
them, fingerprint. I don't know if they're still doing
Blood
retinal scan. They
draw.
are. Yeah. So
Some
I
plasma.
did it almost 10 years ago, and it was retinal scan and fingerprint.
Sperm
do an
donor.
interview, and it's like a private entity that was letting you cut the line. This is pre-check. Like there was just nothing like it at that point, and it was really meant for airports that had a ton of business travelers, but
Right.
even like the elite lanes were not enough. What was interesting about it when it started was you would literally cut the line. Like they would pick your bins up and just cut in front of a bunch of people and then put them down in front of people who, as a business traveler who had been cut, I was like, this is even better. It's interesting, but there's how many baseball fields, did they say?
Yeah,
A handful of them, right?
yeah.
That's a lot. So Safeco has it this year. Safeco, previous to this season, we were all chuckling all the time because getting into CenturyLink Field's a disaster.
Yep.
And getting into Safeco, you were like, I could just leave any event I was possibly at. Like we could bring the SonarFeed gear into
Yeah.
Safeco, basically. Now, no. The bags are bigger than the NFL.
It's
stadium.
still better, and
It's
you can still
better.
bring a backpack.
Yeah, and it's not clear. It's just
Right,
bags.
right.
It's just sizes.
Okay.
And there's a couple of things, no knives, and there were a few other things that they
Knives.
that you could have gotten
No
in with
firearms.
before.
Yeah. Oh, darn it.
Yeah, they backed off the firearms part. Yeah. Firearms are super popular in Seattle. If you hadn't noticed, like right now, not big. Anyway, so that's kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing that we'll never be getting.
Not at CenturyLink?
No.
You don't think so?
Not as
No.
long as the NFL's involved.
It's
Yeah.
true. So if the NFL ever does approve it, where does it start? What's the test market that would actually happen in?
Well, there's only, 3 teams that play in NFL stadiums?
No. I mean, like, because the
The
NFL
actual
would have to be the
NFL.
first one to sign off on it, right?
MLS teams have already started doing it, but they're ones that don't play in NFL stadiums.
Right. But what I'm asking is, if NFL is like, okay, sure, we'll try this. What teams their guinea pigs?
StubHub.
StubHub.
Come on, Tom.
Well-
that was funny.
Well,
While
all right.
we're on this clear topic, I followed the rest of that thread.
Yes.
That Brendan had started.
Right.
And as you go down it a little bit further, you get down to Big Dave Cresco. And he says he'd be curious as to how many, quote, subscribers are the people that signed up for clear, free 3-month trial at 5 a.m. at the airport and forgot and got charged on auto reveal Girls Gone Wild style. And then Brendan said, I understood all of this tweet until the Girls Gone Wild reference. And there's more, but I'm just going to let that happen and move on. So, yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
So actually, our very own Mickey is next.
He's got tweets.
He's got tweets.
I do a tweet on occasion.
So,
Yeah.
so there were some attendance concerns you raised
Yes.
over the weekend. So you had some photos,
These-
a nice
yeah.
series of panoramic, not really full stadia. So
They didn't even,
Chicago, Columbus,
like make the seats like the color of the jersey.
Philly,
so it
San
kinda makes
Jose,
it.
Dallas, Colorado, and New England, Montreal are. Let's just say that not that many people were there.
Yeah, they were all pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think Dallas was the quote-unquote best at like 14,000. And then Chicago, what was Chicago? 10,000. New England, about 10,000. And then I'm missing, Philly was like 12 or 13,000. Yeah. That's the whole tickets distributed versus people butts in the seats.
Right.
And yeah, I kind of tweeted it in the context of the quote unquote business metrics that MLS is using to justify the crew move.
Basically, now there's competition for Austin. Is
Yeah,
what you're
right.
saying. So the Revs, Austin. Dallas probably not moving to Austin because they do not like one another, and they built that amazing Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
Out on the side of the
looks
stadium that's
absolutely
been
gorgeous. That no one's going to visit.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that.
No one gets it.
So there's some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Is there a sound for it?
Doot. That was the sound.
Okay.
Billionaire Patrick Soon-Shiong, is that right? Near deal to buy into DC United at $500 million valuation. Source says he and managing partner Jason Levin, I don't know, buy Eric again, Steak Source says. Why do they use these names?
Eric again is one of the
Their
most
actual
famous
names.
owners.
So basically,
It makes it difficult.
just go to the payoff, which is the next tweet.
Yeah, the next tweet is the payoff where Brendan says, "What's the other $400 million for?"
So he didn't pay $500 million, but bought into them
At a
at
valuation.
a valuation of $500 million. So whatever his ownership level is.
What the fuck is our valuation?
Right? Like, if DC United is $500 million,
Okay.
what's the Sounders?
Well, they don't
More?
own the stadium per se.
No.
Which is what most of
And
that
it
is
is
coming
brand
from.
new.
Yes, and it's brand new. I think this is mostly the new stadium plus whatever Soccer United marketing shares are
Yeah.
that DC United is entitled to, because some is valued at $2 billion if you divide that between each of the MLS teams.
But some has
you can
nothing
do the
to
math.
do with MLS.
No, but I can guarantee you it's not the stadium. Like,
It's probably like 200 plus is the stadium, and then the team is worth 150 ish maybe, and then whatever their cut of some, who the heck knows, maybe another 50 per team. No, that's way too high.
But doesn't this stuff, like, we'll get into some of the specifics on this in a minute on Columbus and others, but this is the kind of thing that frankly muddies the waters of any of those discussions because it, in theory, changes the value of other things. And we've seen this with Major League Baseball teams in the past. Like, all of a sudden, some team is valued at some ridiculous amount.
The Clippers in the NBA when Ballmer bought them $2 billion,
Right.
which was
You're like, what?
and
Okay.
yeah, and they don't even own the Staples Centers. They just rent it out, I think, from the Lakers. So where the hell is they getting $2 billion of valuation for? But yeah, it is interesting in the context of the Crew, which we'll again talk about in a little bit, that they're going to try to find a sale price if they end up having to sell it to a local owner. If DC United is valued at $500 million, are they going to be able to find a local owner, who's going to pay whatever the Crew's worth based on that? Now, the Crew doesn't have nearly the stadium, obviously, at this point.
No, but
But
it's
even
still-
half of that is $250 million.
Right.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And what did Orlando get valued at when the guy bought in?
It was
450
close
or
to
so?
that. Yeah. In the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy town. Why don't we just get into this discussion and we'll come back to that. There's nothing else after that, right? Yeah. We'll come back to those two.
All right.
So why don't we let's talk about the Save the Crew stuff.
Yeah.
We had talked about you obviously writing some things online. Sounds like there's some recent stuff to kind of update people
Oh, yeah.
on. So why don't you kind of set the stage for us?
Oh gosh, well, where to start? Let's, everyone knows that the city and the state are suing Precourt and MLS.
Was that like a Trump everyone knows or like an actual everyone knows?
I think every soccer
Okay.
person who's
Just
paying
wanted to
attention
clarify,
knows.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point. Most people know who are in the soccer world that the city and the states sued Precourt and MLS to keep them from moving the team without complying with the local statute, which basically says you got to give 6 months notice that you're not going to play at their stadium map-free. And during that 6 months, you have to give the opportunity for a local owner or owners to purchase the team. Precourt and MLS have not responded to that lawsuit yet. They are not required to, because the parties agreed they could have until April 19th. On that date, MLS will either respond to the lawsuit by answering it, like saying, we admit this, we deny this, we admit this, et cetera, like in a lawsuit that you may get.
Right.
So they'll either do that, or they will file some sort of motion likely to dismiss the case for any of a million reasons. We don't know which one of those they're going to do. They're probably going to sue to dismiss the case or file to dismiss the case. They're not going to answer the lawsuit at this point. Because if they can dismiss it, then they don't have to get into answering all of the questions.
Right.
So that's likely what's going to happen.
Like standard fare.
Yeah, that happened. That's what happened in the NASL case.
So what's your
So what happened
What's your
today?
take on that?
Yes. Well, on that process, that's standard procedure, like you said.
Right.
I wouldn't have expected anything less from MLS and Precourt to do that. So that's fine for what it is. But what's interesting is what happened today is that the crew basically filed a motion to keep Precourt from claiming that the 6 months has already elapsed. Because in theory, once that 6 month period is over, then they cannot, and there's no owners or no prospective buyers. Let's say the 6 months is over, nobody has come forward to local owners have come through to purchase the crew. On day 181, Precourt can say, well, no one has come through with an offer, so I can pursue my options in Austin or elsewhere. And so what the city did today was basically file a motion to say, all right, this lawsuit is going on. Precourt is likely going to claim that the 6 months is already moving along.
Because that was some time ago.
Yeah, the quote-unquote announcement was back in October. I think Grant Wall broke the story on like the 16th or something like that. And then they made the announcement in a press conference on the 17th. So I suspect that, Precourt and MLS are going to say, well, we had this announcement, this press conference on the 17th of October, so they've had notice since that point that we were planning to move to Austin. And if that were to be the case, 6 months from October 17th is April 15th, which is about a week from now, which means if that were to be the case, the 6 months would be up and the city and the state of Ohio can no longer fight the case to keep them there because the time period's up. And there was a meeting on November 15th between the city and MLS where they basically went in and decided that they hated each other and weren't going to talk anymore. And so if that date were used, it would be May 15th or 14th or something like that. So in theory, we're either a week away or about a month away.
Okay.
And so that's what the city is trying to sue to stop right now.
And, what do you really have? What's the qualifications for a local owner? Do they have to put money in escrow? What does that look like?
Well, again, the main issue I've had with this case, it's not even really an issue, it's just something people have pointed out, is that this law, the Art Modell law, which for anybody who is not aware, and I'm sure pretty much everyone is, basically when the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore after taking a bunch of money from the city, they passed a law which basically said that you have to give notice and the opportunity for a local owner to buy. This was back in '96 when the Cleveland Browns left. So they basically passed this law in reaction to that.
Okay.
And so since that point, the law has never been used because no Cleveland or Ohio teams have taken money. Oh, and the other thing is, to trigger this lawsuit, you have to have accepted public money for your facility, maybe the land, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, anybody who takes a public subsidy in Ohio is potentially subject to this law. So if you build your stadium 100% private, it doesn't matter. You can move or do whatever the hell you want. If you take public money, then the argument is that you are subject to it. So that's the caveat I should add to this. And I forgot your question.
I was just saying, what does it really mean to say, I'm a local owner? I've watched that stuff in other sports where, the New York Islanders had someone who was a super big scammer, who got money to, buy the team, and, it unfortunately, gets months, if not years, into the process sometimes before you find out someone's, fraudulently, pretending to have money or
I think that happened
else.
with the St. Louis when they were trying to get into MLS back in the, mid 2000s. Anyway, so local owner, it doesn't say in the statute what that definition is. The statute itself is only 4 paragraphs, and the main things it focuses on is just the 6 months and giving notice and the opportunity to buy. So that's actually probably going to be my next story, is to kind of dig into what those terms mean, because notice is not defined for one thing. As in what kind of notice you have to give to somebody. When you think of notice, for example, if you were in a lease for a house and you wanted to terminate the lease or just decide you didn't want to live there anymore. If you were on a month-to-month, you would say, all right, as of April 30th, I will no longer reside in this home.
I can send an email,
Yeah.
and that counts.
Yeah, you can send an email, you could send a letter, send a note, but this doesn't describe what that process is. So that's the same problem kind of with the local owner, with the notice issue, with the opportunity to buy. Now, some of that stuff is kind of common sense. And so what my guess is that a court will basically use whatever terms are local to the jurisdiction to describe what notice is, what local buyer is, probably someone who is domiciled in the state, local address. If it's a business, maybe they're incorporated in the state or they have business ties to the state. So that would be my guess as to how they would resolve that issue. Someone who either lives in the state, has a business in the state, is probably how they would resolve that, is my guess. But that is up for argument because it's not specifically defined in the statute.
So is some of this happening in like actual like locality level court, some of it at the state level and some of it at the U.S. level?
So right now it's at the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas or something along those lines. I probably butchered that, which is basic. Out here it would be King County District Court or Superior Court, I should say. That's kind of the analogy I would.
So MLS is even having to potentially respond at that level.
Yeah.
Okay.
They because the whole thing with how MLS operates with its investor operators, who actually owns the Columbus Crew. Precourt has shares in the Crew, but is he an actual owner? I mean, I don't even want to get into that at the moment, but just for the sake of argument, he's the owner of the team. And so, yeah, he is having to respond at the court level. MLS is having to respond at the court level. On the letter they sent back in March, the general counsel for MLS signed off on it.
Okay.
Which is what it sounds like, going to claim is that what they gave as notice that they're not going to play at Map Free anymore.
Okay.
So that's
David lets us know in the chat, Franklin County Court of
Common Pleas. Yeah. Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Please and thank you.
So, do you have an opinion where you think this goes?
It's way too early to decide how the court's going to decide the case, which is why a lot of people have come in with claims that they're going to dismiss it on Commerce Clause grounds or what have you. But again, this law doesn't exist anywhere in the United States, and so it's and it has never existed anywhere in the United States. So there is no precedent upon which to judge what a court could potentially do. So my thought is, and I've been talking to someone on the inside, reasonably on the inside, what they... Yes, I was hoping for some cool graphics. What it sounds like is they are really hoping to cut off MLS and Precourt from arguing that the 6 months is almost up, because that's kind of their most immediate concern. Because, again, if that 6 months is up, then there's nothing they can do to stop it, because no one will be able to come forward and purchase a team at any point going forward.
Is there... This is weird, because normally you ask people this, and it's like, they're not a lawyer, and they're like, I'm not a lawyer. In your legal opinion, is there a next step where they're like, you didn't give valid enough notice, and then the next day they have to start the clock over? Like, is that a possibility?
I think it is. So the story I wrote, I wrote it over the weekend and then published it today.
On
and then
soccer-esque?
Yes, soccer-esque. And then the news from the crew, from the city came down is that I'm not sure that what MLS and Precourt gave to the city is actual notice. It was ridiculous legalese. It was basically like, we don't agree that this law applies to us, but if it does, consider this compliance with the law. But they didn't actually say that we are not going to play at Map Free anymore, and they have not said that at any point.
Which is a different thing.
That's the whole point of the law, is to inform the person or the entity that you are no longer going to play there. Because what they're essentially doing is Precourt's going to break the lease. the lease was 25 years, started in 98, so they have until 2023, 24 on the lease. They're just gonna break the lease.
Right.
Which would normally be a major problem because you get sued when you break a lease, especially on that level. You would be paying massive amounts of rent that is due, and there's
Can they sublet?
Nope. That I actually reviewed that. They cannot sublet it. The city can come in and basically boot them out and then lease it themselves and then sue them for the difference.
Right.
But yeah, so at this point, the lease is 25 years. It doesn't expire until 2023, maybe 2024, depending on how they count the years. And so normally they'd be subject to a huge lawsuit. They would have huge amounts of money that they owe. However, the problem is that the lease that they signed was well below market value. So they're only paying, I think, $50,000 a year in rent. So their position
Wait, $50,000 a year
in rent, which is another issue as to them getting
Whoa.
a subsidy from the city or the state to basically play a massively low, below market rate. So what does Precourt care if he gets sued and has to pay out the remainder of the lease, which is maybe $300,000? That's nothing to him. He'll just cut them a check probably as he
That's
walks
what I mean.
out the door.
Just be like, I'm out.
Yeah, cut him a check as he walks out the door. The other thing is that he would be also required potentially to basically demolish Matt Free Stadium at his cost. But how much is that?
That
$1
could be
million?
super fun, though.
Yeah,
35.
They already tried with fire.
That is actually
They
true.
did already try with fire. Well done to the bookworm in the corner.
So, yeah, the total cost of the ending of the lease is probably $1.5 million, give or take, which is nothing when you're considering a $150 to $200 million entity, plus whatever, if they get some kind of a stadium deal done in Austin. That's just nothing to them. So that's not going to prohibit them from moving the team. So that's a major problem.
But that's where at some point, like, if someone has money and, to be honest, they're like, fuck you,
Yeah.
they'll just pay it in whatever way, shape, or form they need to and walk away.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, that is not. I don't think the city thinks so, but
No, but, I mean, they're being optimistic, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, Orlando's had its ups and downs, not just from a Browns standpoint, but I think sports in general has had a rough, what would you say, except for a little bit of a Cavaliers moment?
LeBron,
A bad 127 years?
the
something
Indians.
Like that?
No, the Indians didn't win, did they?
No, but they did make the World Series.
It's more than our local sports team could say, so I'm I'm not going to give them too much grief.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So kind of the last at least immediate thing is that so the city filed this suit to basically extend the 6-month time period. The Precourt and MLS are supposed to send a response on the 19th, which interestingly is after the deadline, the October deadline. So basically, you can imagine that Precourt and MLS basically say, oh, well, we gave them notice in October. They couldn't find a buyer by April 15th or 14th or whatever it is. So 6-month period's over, so too bad, we can move the team. So that's why they filed this today to
Got it.
basically extend that. So it sounds like they're not going to file. I wrote that they may get an emergency motion or something like that to get it heard before the deadline's up. Doesn't sound like they're immediately worried about doing that, and so they're probably going to just try to do something in agreement with the Precourt and MLS, maybe through a council with the judge or something like that. Basically, see if they can agree to some at least temporary arrangement.
Yeah.
But if not, then yeah, there could be a hearing in the next week or so, which would be interesting.
That's a lot. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
I think as was pointed out, did you point it out? That this is super helpful, makes it digestible. Somebody pointed it out.
It was Emily.
It does. Was Emily? Is Emily in the chat? I can't. I just looked at Twitter and 9 other things in the last 30 seconds. And I'm like, what did I just read? It does make it digestible and interesting. And I think if you try and follow disparate Twitter sources, it's really hard to pull it all together.
Yeah.
So,
the thing is, like I said, there's people out there trying to I'll take one too. Claim that they know how the court's going to rule at this point,
SonarFeed orders
which
here.
is just no one has any idea how the court's going to go on.
Yeah.
This. And so anybody who's out there trying to say that, oh yeah, this is going to get dismissed in 4 weeks, is not. They don't know what they're talking about. So yes, more like magic 8 balls.
If we were on like, I don't know, do you call it attorney Twitter? Is there attorney Slack out there? Like,
There probably is.
how
There probably
many
should be.
pre-court jokes a day are made?
I don't even think they're jokes. I think they're just
No, but it's like pre-court bad puns. Like, think it's Ohio, dude. They're making that joke all day.
I think their rage is preventing them, their good-natured punning at this point. So it's I don't think that's going on so much. At least based on the people I've been reading / talking to.
So we can dig into a couple things. We have some sounder stuff and other things to get into. But David Carver, who I believe is in the chat that we were talking about earlier, asked a little bit on Twitter earlier about, what effect, if any, does the latest quote-unquote toll filings by the city of Columbus have? We've talked a little bit about this.
Yeah. It depends on what this if there's a hearing set immediately.
Okay.
If there isn't, then I assume that they're going to be able to agree on
So
something.
if anybody, like the average layperson, wants to actually know what's happening, what's the easiest thing to look for or read in whatever comes next?
Okay, that's a good question. Yes. That's an excellent plug. Yes.
Turneresque.com.
Yes.
Strangely,
I mean,
Map-Free
Socceresque.com.
Stadium burned down.
Socceresque.com.
Weird.
I know, right?
Unrelated.
The next thing to look for is the 19th. That's the next. That's,
Okay.
that's the big
So
date.
wait for that. Go from there. Okay.
Yeah, because that's when pre-court and MLS have to file their response. So at that point, we will know what their strategy is, their legal theory is for fighting this case. Because I've always maintained that I don't think that pre-court is willing to sell at any non-insane price to anybody. I think he wants to keep a team. He likes owning the crew. He just doesn't want to do it in Austin because otherwise he wouldn't have put that provision that he could move the team
Right.
back in 2013. Because anybody who listened to the Sounders business meeting when who was asked about that? Roth? Yeah, Roth was asked about it. He was asked about the crew specifically, and his quote was basically, "We don't have anything to do with that. That is something that pre-court worked out with the league, and we don't have any ability to stop it, even if we wanted to." And so, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because typically you have to have a vote to agree to move a team.
Right.
And I think if I read the whatever the MLS charter or at least whatever it is reported to have been, it takes 2/3 of the owners to boot another owner.
Yeah.
Which is what they did with the Chivas owner. They didn't boot him; they basically paid him off. So
Vergara loved that.
yeah, well, I think he made $40 million. But I think that's what has to happen. So it sounds to me like that provision will prevent them from really doing anything to him, at least as a result of this specific action, because he is basically authorized. If he gets a stadium approved in Austin and reaches whatever deal he needs to make, MLS cannot stop him from moving. They can't do anything about it, at least according to the provision, which no one has ever seen.
But if he gets a stadium in Austin, then San Antonians are going to just drive up the road and burn the site down literally every day.
Yeah, that was the other funny, well, not funny, but interesting thing is it looked for a while like there's a prosecutor down there named Judge Wolf or something like that.
His name is Judge.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But he basically paid, well, I don't know if he paid for it, but he ordered an investigation into the whole MLS encouraging San Antonio to put in a bid. Because I think that, they spent a bunch of money to upgrade the stadium there. And then basically we're told, well, if Austin comes, well, I don't know if they were told, but the implication was if Austin was admitted, San Antonio has no chance of getting into MLS,
right?
Because they're not going to have 4 teams.
Yeah, I mean beyond
in Texas.
beyond the DC Baltimore thing, which even Major League Baseball had to like pay significant amounts of money to the Orioles ownership
Yeah,
to
get
like
them to sign off
create
on
that kind of like catchment area that we talk about in MLS. That was
in every
a
sport,
huge
basically.
issue, but it had to do with TV and like where you could sign players
Marketing
from,
and all that stuff,
Like there's
yeah.
so many things. Like Texas is so spread out, and the what goes on between cities is just very, very different than what you're used to in other parts of the country where there are maybe more masses of teams. They would never do that because the amount of people that will probably drive an hour to go to Austin or to go to San Antonio are going to be in the other's market one way or the other. So it's really, really complicated. And it's not to say that people from Portland don't drive up here or people from here don't drive to Portland for things. But it's a whole nother discussion when you talk about that distance between San Antonio, who, again, there were 7 teams vying for the next expansion spot?
Oh, right now there's still 12.
There was the
or 11, I
the
guess.
MLS thing where they were actually promoting the road shows.
Oh, yeah.
The first time Sacramento was in.
Yeah. It was 2014,
And San Antonio was a
2015,
team they were talking about. So
Yeah, so they were, the prosecutor down there did a full investigation. I think the results basically came back and said that MLS was misleading, but they didn't commit any crimes per se. I was sure that they were going to try to, indict Garber and drag him down to Texas to get for some type of fraud suit, but they ended up not doing it. I think probably because they wanted to at least keep the relationship reasonable. But yeah, so if Austin comes into play, then I don't see how San Antonio is getting a team.
So,
Which the expansion thing's been a disaster basically from almost the start. So. What are we looking at?
Nothing.
I mean, the Sounders may have they may have made a move.
Oh,
Not really.
oh, jeez.
I figured Chicharito would be
You
better
want to
than-
introduce Chicharito?
better than Mark because Mark's on his phone.
Fuck.
The little P is on the show here tonight. That's really
cruel and unusual.
That's a really big flip from here to there. So why don't you ship
It
that? And
just give me a sec, I will.
we're gonna make a hard
turn. Yes.
from Austin. Thank you for that. That's actually
You
super,
should
that's super helpful.
You should generally not do that. I'm a little top heavy.
Are you $860 worth of top heavy?
Yeah. No, that's actually on the lower suspension.
All right, so there it is.
All right. So
Did you
last week
Did you put me back on the screen?
Now I did, and then I didn't.
we're all replaced right now. Are we? We're all replaced.
Now they can't see any of us.
We have this really good Hilton ad though.
It is. It's good Hilton ad.
So last week we talked to Dave offline. Before or after, I can't remember. We were making jokes about
It was
Chicharito.
after. It was after.
It was after. It might have been also before. The last viewing, I was at the AC. I had a conversation with a few friends, and we were just talking about, like, if the Sounders were to go get another forward, like, what's the type of player? And I had said, like, it's a Chicharito. Not necessarily him, but, like, somebody who can be the target or could just be the, like, burner that's out there to, like, offset what the other forward or other, player that's supposed to be a little bit more offensive from the mid would be. And then Dave kind of laughed, and he's like, funny you bring that up. I'm working on that story right now for Sounder at Heart. And between Chicharito, the Jimmy story on Sounder at Heart, and a couple of the other things, I have not seen Sounder at Heart people lose their shit more than when ECS does anything, basically. But the Chicharito thing, the best part of it was Dave's like, it doesn't have to be Chicharito. He's like, I'm just trying to get people to think about this. Not that it's $25 million, not that it's specifically him, but like imagine you have a player that's going to bring jersey sales or a different demographic from a fan in the stadium standpoint or TV and media. Like,
Just seeing Hugo's joy.
lost his shit. He was like busy dealing with stuff because there were some
And
shootings
then all of a sudden it was,
in
oh,
Period.
hi, Hugo.
Right, and the next day he's like, I did lose my shit, but we could scroll back and find it. But he was like, I've been dealing with some life stuff, but that, yes, and like, it's not that it is or isn't the same as the Dempsey level move, but if you want to talk about changing the conversation, that's the type of thing that changes the conversation. And the point Dave was trying to make was not that that's a good idea, but that, like, think about it is. I agree.
Yes.
But think about, like,
Think big.
trying to, but almost, frankly, trying to inspire people to go. Remember that time that we were all like, let's go to the airport and stalk national team players. Oh, and then they actually showed up the next day. Like think about what that felt like, and it's less about it just being Chicharito and more about, like,
The journey.
like getting there. And that's super, super cool. And
So when we sign Chicharito, can we have Matt Oak on the show so we can discuss that
we are
again?
definitely doing that.
Fuck, that means I have to pick him up.
Matt will just float to the show. I don't know what you
Down
mean.
the Duwamish?
Like, I would not do that. That's a hard no for all people. But it was interesting to read the comments and frankly see the, like, Twitter fallout and, like, positive discussion. Because on one hand, like, we're all somewhere between super fucking desperate and, like, somewhere in there. Like, there's not necessarily a lot of positivity. It's not like the Sounders scored 5 goals and are 0-3. It's like, 3 reds, no goals, no points.
2 home losses.
Out Jordan Morris, and S2's not exactly a bright spot, except there's been a David Estrada moment and a couple of other things, but they are more fun to watch. No one's saying they're not, but
It definitely feels like a malaise.
it does. And the best part about that kind of story or write-up or speculation or whatever you want to call it is, it's the point of it is to, like, you know, put an axe in the middle of the table and be like, take a second here and just, like, read this and think about it. And I think it did that, whether
Well-
you agree with it or not.
Well, just think about how we reacted to their trialist with Capel coming in and people just flipping out over someone who was not nearly on the level of Chicharito. And that,
I mean, his hamstring couldn't even handle
Yes.
trial.
Yeah.
But at least hearing about the new person coming in caused a spike in, I don't know if I call it interest, but excitement, I guess.
I mean, it
For lack of a better
spiked,
word.
like your Instagram photos or whatever you
Yeah.
were taking those photos on. But
And it took, people 30 minutes to actually investigate and find out who
seriously, it was like, this happened, and then
so-
someone's like, I went to Transfer Market, and he was on top of the page. And it's like, y'all are insane.
Yes.
Stop.
Just the board at work.
Yeah. I'm just going to let the board at work come and go, because it's accurate, Mark. What's up, little P?
Fuck you.
So,
I have a step stool so you can get in the car, by the way.
Max Aquino is here. Hiding.
Don't
I know, I couldn't see you behind this blinding light.
Don't gloss over that I have a step stool for you to now get in the Jeep.
Yes. This is great.
Motherfucker.
Larry Herrera just
Hey,
subscribed
Larry
to us. Thank
subscribed.
you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
For your subscription,
Thanks,
you're going to get
Larry.
a
He's
tote
going to
bag.
vote down.
You're going to get a tote bag.
Larry, if
We
you
have
don't
tote bags?
downvote us, I don't know what.
Not SonarFeed
What
tote
are you?
bags.
What are we like?
Just like a random
KUOW?
tote bag that I've got at home that I got from...
Out in the alley.
Oh, one of those like many
Like-
from like Trader Joe's or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get it from going to conferences.
yeah.
I've got lots of them.
Oh, I got
Larry can have
I
one.
got a good
Fantastic.
one from the Eco Farm conference.
There you go.
You know what it is not? Organic cotton. I have a question.
What's your question?
Why eco covers have organic?
That.
So it's bleached. We have questions for Mickey. We should probably answer or ask.
Well, I have one first.
You got one? Go.
Yeah, from me.
Go for it.
So you're a lawyer, right?
He likes
In-
attorney.
Attorney, okay, but in your experience, how many times has the FBI broken into your house or your work?
I know
0 times.
I know I can answer
New
this easily.
SonarFeed question, by the way.
I
Did
hope
you
to
put
keep-
that on the Google Doc?
Mickey's like, they are in my office right now.
Right,
Because we asked this question.
they are now.
Yeah.
So is that a 0?
That is a 0. I hope to keep it that way. That seems like it would be terrifying.
So you're saying that if we went to Avo, that would probably be like something that would take stars away in your
Yes,
review?
yes, it would.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
By the way, FBI, don't add us.
We have no knowledge.
CIA, you guys can add us. You're cool.
No.
No knowledge of any goings on in
they
the
can't operate in,
New York apartments.
domestic.
They can tweet at us, though.
No,
I'm okay
don't-
with that.
Don't add us.
If
either,
they tweeted us
CIA.
from Prague or some shit, I am good. Let's
You-
not go there.
Usually,
The NSA is definitely fucking adding us.
They wouldn't be tweeting.
Probably from Megan's account.
They wouldn't be tweeting from Prague. They'd be tweeting from where the fuck FIFA headquarters is.
All right, so Megan asks if you would rather fight 100 Ruth Bader Ginsburg-sized horses or one horse-sized Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Can I run in the opposite direction?
Would you say you plead the fifth?
Yes, the
Yeah,
When she's
I
doing
have
her
no,
workout?
I have no
Oh.
desire to get in the ring with her. Yes.
She also asks what the value of the DCU raccoons is.
See, I have a soft spot for RFK. I was there as a little kid when I grew up, or was growing up out there, or at least early on, and then I went back to school out there. So, yes. So I miss RFK. I was out there for the Sounders game in 2016 when we won. So that was super fun. So I miss that. I'm gonna miss that place. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
miss
like,
having to take the antibiotics.
A little bit.
But,
Yeah, I was going to say. A little bit. You're like, I'm okay with the fact that there really aren't earthquakes here. Mm-hmm. Like, that makes it acceptable.
yeah, I mean, that place is. It was probably the worst place in the league.
It's pretty bad. And then Joe Cromwell, who looks like John Hamm, asks who we're signing. I would have gone with who we were singing tonight, but this is a better question. Who were we signing?
That is in this immediate window, or are we talking about our pie in the sky DP in the summer?
Or are we talking about ASL?
Or anybody?
Are we talking about ASL in the stadium? Because I foresee that being sooner than
Who are you signing?
yeah. ASL.
I actually could totally see that being accurate. That we would have like a play-by-play
yeah, like they have it Safeco.
person. I think that's a good call. I'm actually down with that idea.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Soccer for all. Hashtag.
So we're turning down designated players.
But we're turning up inclusion.
I'm good
That's
with that.
very poetic.
I actually have to say, that would be a huge fucking win. Hashtag soccer for all.
We'll still have 0 fucking points.
It makes it easier.
But everybody's included.
Yeah.
This sounds like one of these things where like this is a really good conversation, and then in about 2 minutes, if we let Mark keep going, it's going to end.
Yeah, no, I'm
really
done. That's all.
poorly.
That's all I had to
Leave
contribute.
on a high note.
Yeah, I'm go ahead, pat myself on the back, and I'll just keep.
I would
reading
actually
further.
like to see Joel, to answer the question, Joel Campbell would be.
Oh, so you're on the Joel Campbell train.
Yeah, that I've been on him his bandwagon for a
Just
while.
start over.
Yes, I know, right? I like him. I think he's exactly what we could use. He can play out on the wing. He's fast. He can play up top as well. Decent finisher. Probably a reasonable price because he's going to be on a free.
I mean, that's apparently all we do right now.
Former Arsenal guy, so that always adds a couple of points in my book. So that's who I would go with.
Is that in a, like, players are better when they leave Arsenal kind of way?
Yeah,
I just wanted to clarify.
Well, I just, I still have tears of Van Persie leaving and then going and winning a championship immediately. So hopefully that happens. Yes.
That guy aged about 100% in 2 years.
Right, I think he's fully gray now.
Like, what happened there, Robert? So, other than Arsenal for the rest of the night, we're not doing that. What?
I don't know. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Other than Arsenal discussion.
What's Arsenal?
So there's this Sounders team.
Yeah, we have a game.
Yeah, they
coming
play
up
this weekend. Kansas City. It's apparently, by the way, like 70s right now this week.
really?
Is that where Becky's husband went? See, you knew it was going to get worse.
So it's in the 70s right now.
Yes,
and
that came to a screeching halt.
it's apparently supposed to be in the 40s at kick.
Oh,
Lovely.
nice.
For the game. To the point where Dave Cresco said that he was canceling his plane ticket.
He's not going anymore.
God bless him.
I do
God
not
bless
blame
being
him.
a gold.
Yes.
Kansas City, by the way, Dave and I think I've told the show before, were in the section at S2 on a Friday.
Yes.
And we both independently bought tickets at halftime on separate airlines to Kansas City. And we took red eyes and we connected, met in Kansas City, paid the extra whatever to get our hotel room early, crashed, went out on Saturday,
Did we lose?
then went to the game. I mean, it was Kansas City.
So, yeah.
Well, we sometimes win there on last-second goals.
Yeah. And then we had barbecue all day Sunday. And bourbon.
Shocking.
Yeah. It was a human win.
But you didn't have a log ride.
No, we didn't.
Can't wait for Minnesota.
Yeah. They got snowed out yesterday.
Yeah.
You see that the Twins?
Yeah.
Was that yesterday, day
Yeah.
before, whatever? Like, what?
It's generally, exactly that. It's generally bad when your bat breaks because it's so cold.
Let's build an open air stadium in Minneapolis.
Brilliant.
It's only sub-zero temperatures for most of the year.
That's okay. That's
Fargo.
Yeah.
No one can keep track at this point, so it doesn't matter.
But you know what they do have near the Minnesota Gopher Stadium?
A bridge that was rebuilt?
No, an Applebee's.
They do have that, but they have a new
Particularly
I-35
that is a massive
bridge.
disappointment.
I can't believe you didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Nothing.
Are you trying to show those tweets?
The first
I was
thing,
looking
Do
to
you
see
want
if
to
there
show that feature and see what happens?
the first
see if
thing
it
Dave and I
works.
do,
Yeah, let's
we'll
do
go
it.
to
Yeah.
the Applebee's and take a picture and send it to Tom.
So we have this new feature.
When do we play them?
But you have to
August.
tweet to make it work.
4th.
Yeah.
So add
It'll be
us.
So if you at SonarFeed
No, I don't think
now,
it's open until next year.
the right side of the screen will actually show tweets that tag SonarFeed.
I
What are
don't-
those tweets?
Pretty
They're
fantastic.
old. The way the system works is kind of silly. It
So
puts
if you
in
add
placeholders
SonarFeed,
until we see stuff.
We can just throw this little thing in, which is both the best and worst idea
it could be a
of
really
all
bad
time.
idea. But you have to
Yeah.
you have to add us on Twitter, which could
It has to be an at.
Yep, here comes one. Larry.
So if you do this,
That looks fantastic, I have to say.
right?
Yeah.
Adam just made that shit up before the show tonight. By made up, I mean he probably pulled some template from the
Yeah.
software and
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the thing. We could probably come back to that after we get some tweets.
Well, the way
wanna leave it?
we'll just leave it going for a little while.
Okay.
We'll just leave it going.
Did it work?
Yeah, it's working.
What were we
I don't
Looks
see
great.
yours. Abusable features are the best. This is true.
That is accurate.
Yes.
Wow, thanks, Lair, at SonarFeed.
Good job, Larry.
works.
You know what though? You know what? What are you guys doing on July 1st?
We're going to go to the thing you're going to queue up right now.
Yeah?
Is there a thing happening?
On July 1st?
So on July 1st at...
I just want to know, is Ocho Cinco going to actually go to somebody's house and beat their ass at
I'm pretty
FIFA?
sure he does that all the time.
It is literally going to happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does that all
And
the
But
time.
in
Dude.
Seattle.
I've got
As someone,
Or Tukwila, at least. Yeah, what's our esports guy? Fucking play him.
Minus 80.
Bye. You might sign him up for the SonarFeed tournament if we ever do
absolutely
that, and
awful.
just put him in as bye.
But seriously, that was awful.
He is.
At least he is also in the Gervin... What is it again? What's the phrase?
The, I don't-
Gervin zone.
He's in the Gervin zone.
the full club integration?
He's minus 21.
the first team look good.
Full,
He does have
I don't.
the first team has a
Come back to it.
best goal better
Go back to it.
goal differential than he did.
That is...
Oh, there's some penis comments. Thanks, Sean Wise.
That is a garbage.
Totally not porn.
It
Mickey,
apparently doesn't animate.
What is your
GIFs. I'm
favorite,
sorry, Emily.
least favorite subject? Just in general, not like in school.
Torts.
Good question.
Like
It's definitely not torts, dude.
no, it'd have to be like tax law. That was
So
I hated
general
everything
life
about
subject,
Hey, just be like Donald. Don't pay him.
not tax law.
that. Oh, okay. General
Don't pay 'em.
life subject like country music. Is that a
Country,
Country music is a...
What the fuck do you have wrong with country music?
I don't like it. It's
Just
terrible.
Like, no, is this like an all country music or is it a?
Like I exclude like Nelly or something like that?
Well, no, I mean like Johnny
That's
Cash,
not really country.
That's about. Oh, Johnny Cash. I
right?
listen
Like
to all day.
like if we back up to like when country music was actually good.
yeah, I'll listen to Johnny Cash all
Okay,
day.
okay.
So hit the Zach.
Get that back up.
All right, so July 1st.
How much does it cost to get it? Does anybody know?
I don't know. There's a URL. You can click it.
So go to
What?
Have we?
a URL,
Excuse me.
Earl?
What do you call it?
a URL.
URL, dude.
What do you call
Something
it?
else.
I said it's a URL,
I heard something.
and then I made an Earl joke.
Earl of who?
Like, my name is Earl, your favorite show.
Oh, I thought you meant Earl of.
Duke of Earl?
Sure.
Anyway, so,
Earl of Dorchester.
Starfire, July 1st, 6 p.m. Zakawani and friends.
Minus
Let's
one
just-
friend.
Well, let's just make multiple predictions right now. One, there's a pretty hefty T-Mobile sponsorship right here, which I'm going to guess means activations, if I know anything about marketing.
Do you?
Do you, though?
Activations are going to happen.
Wait a minute. Can activations happen without the Sounders front office marketing team?
Yes.
Do we have a marketing team, or do they just
Stop.
Does SonarFeed have a marketing team?
Yeah, Tom. We get as much out of him as we pay him.
All right, so
Free beer.
Just because he's the gift card daddy.
Emily clarifies tickets are $25 to $1,250.
Whoa.
What does the $12.50 get you?
Well,
is that where you play?
No, you get to play.
Yeah, that's where you get to play.
I'm throwing out bills like no other. Sign me up for the 12.
Right,
Just return that lift kit.
At 12:50, you get to play.
And the
So,
Did it really?
so let's just clarify. Yeah, you did. That weekend is going to have some shit. Ocho Cinco's flying in Saturday and is going to beat the shit out of people at FIFA.
at their house.
For real. Like, that's a thing.
What do you do if Ocho Cinco shows up at your house and says, I am going to beat your ass? And you're like, oh, dude, sorry, I only have one controller.
Don't ask.
Mark's inviting people over, and he just pulls out, like, the GameCube.
Yeah. No, actually, we're going to play Mario Party.
Old school Nintendo.
Little
Let's just
Tecmo
do
Bowl,
Tecmo
I'm
Bowl,
down,
yo, yeah. So Ocho Cinco is rolling up on Saturday. And then there's this Obafemi Martins guy.
Who?
But who's not playing anymore?
Does it matter?
If he doesn't roll up in a Power Wheel, I'm disappointed.
Like, that dude's just going to roll up and be like, what?
What do you mean I can't park
Zach
here?
is going to do 9,000 stepovers on the field.
Did you see his post, by the way? It's him, Eddie, and Oba, and it's just an arrow to him, and he goes, the fastest.
Nice. That's fantastic.
And then
Still shit talking.
Eddie Johnson,
Nice.
who's just like, okay. And he's just going to dust people. And that's just the first 4 people that we've talked about. Like, it almost doesn't matter who else is on the rest of any roster.
You know, and I bet we could work on this, who they need to get. Walter Jones.
He's got to be on the app.
Oh, my God, that's a really good
Yeah,
idea.
that is actually fantastic.
Wow.
Walter Jones taking a PK on Marcus Hanneman. I don't care. Make it happen.
Emily tells us that the special meet and greet with Clint and Oba is $125.
That's it?
Oh, no, dude, that's totally worth it.
That is absolutely worth
You're
it.
like, I get to make fishing jokes and Barolo is a terrible happy hour in Seattle jokes in like 1 second.
I totally walk up and be like, yo, Clint, can you sign my fly? Fishing fly.
He would beat the sack tap.
Oh, I've heard he does that.
I gotta tell you, if someone does not bring a red card for Clint Dempsey to sign, they have failed at life. If Daniel
Paul Cox,
Radford,
are you on your way?
If Daniel Radford says he will come to this match, I will buy his Clint Dempsey ticket.
No, make him be the ref, please.
Even better.
The shenanigans that can be
Oh my God, that would be the
I would
worst
like
idea ever.
I would like to see Clint Dempsey get red carded
You know,
in
the
a
ref that
charity
we
match.
had down in Tacoma a couple
Daniel
weeks
Radford,
ago.
red card winning.
the guy
What was,
that had,
sorry, what was the name, though?
Daniel Radford.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I thought you were talking about Harry Potter.
That's Daniel Radcliffe.
Right, that's what.
Yeah, that's different.
Yes.
Emily's just talking to herself in
Yeah,
the chat.
keep-
She's just going
Thanks.
hard.
Yeah.
but
Wait,
couldn't
more?
you just see? Couldn't you just
Oh
see
my
him?
God!
Couldn't you see him officiating that match, giving Dempsey
Let's see
a
what
red
happens if I
card,
put
and
them
Dempsey
on
be
the
like,
screen.
"I'm not leaving.
this time, man.
All right, so let's
You can't make me."
ask Mickey questions because it's better. Didn't they have to delay a game at RFK because there was a yellow jacket hive in one of the equipment lockers?
I don't remember the specific that it sounds absolutely like something that would have happened at
I mean,
RFK.
DC is full of pricks.
Yes. Yes.
I think the Twitter thing broke. Where are you going?
Wow.
I'm just escaping.
I think.
Mark, we were told that you should stop looking at porn.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm going to read some other questions.
Yes.
Where are you going?
Will you not step on all the cables, Tom?
Do you have to pee?
No, because I'm not stupid.
So, a question. Since
Answer, Daily
you're
Double.
about to be ECS Monkey favorite and least favorite away trip,
Oh, that's a fantastic question.
it's from our very own Lisa.
Oh, well, then that's not surprising. Favorite one, just city-wise, just experience. Probably Toronto away. Not for the MLS Cup. I went for the match in 2016 where we tied 1-1 when Moore scored. Just because that was in the middle. That was in July. Weather was great. Really cool city, obviously fantastic. So, from just a city experience, because I've never been there before, that's definitely number one. Game wise, like enjoying the game, probably I'd say Philly U.S. Open Cup final, because it's a cool city and we lifted a trophy. So,
Cool.
that would be those would be my two favorites probably.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you were given the chance to tweet from Tom's laptop while he was in the bathroom,
Yeah, right?
if you were given the chance to tweet from Mark's phone while he was tweeting from Tom's laptop,
This is like Inception level deep going pretty much.
Hey, Max, how you doing?
Oh, there we are.
All right, so this is the portion of the show where we tweet from Tom's laptop.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
hey,
no
Tom,
graphic for,
what are you
for
doing
this.
here?
All right, I have your beer back.
Yes.
All right, so we're back. Just at least one. Maybe more. I don't know. You feeling better now?
No.
No?
First off, I was confused by a laptop that works. By the way, they're still talking about pandas.
Yeah.
Oh, what? No. No, they're not.
Tucker Carlson has opinions about pandas.
And the other relevant. Are Virginia spiders bad or just?
They
Are
are
Virginia
awesome.
spiders
They are
bad?
fantastic.
I know I forgot an
They are
apostrophe.
the number
I'm
one
sorry.
mascot in the country. And they protect the world from insects all over. Just think of what would happen if spiders were not around.
He's right, you know.
I learned that from the movie Arachnophobia.
Fuck that movie.
It's a great movie. What are you talking about? Movies.
Forever and a day.
That movie is fucking bullshit.
I love spiders.
Yes.
Here's every worst fucking nightmare. You're in the shower, and all of a sudden, 1,000 spiders. come out of
Hyper
the
poisonous
spout.
spiders.
Fuck that.
Oh, it's a great movie. Oh, John Goodman was hilarious.
It won't do it, right? Yeah.
Tremendous movie. That's what caused me to go to that school.
All right, so
not accurate.
starting a small little announcement from Dave and I. Starting on Wednesday, during the S2 match, we're going to start a new segment with Dave. So if anybody's watching from home, it's going to be called. You just tweet with the hashtag AskS2Crew, and Dave will be able to answer live. So it's going to be kind of a fun thing that we're doing with Dave. Give him a chance to speak a little bit more.
You said pre-game or during the game?
During the match.
During the match?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
We're just going to give it a try, see what happens. Also, for those who do watch, I think this is the last game on Wednesday that's going to be YouTube.
Oh, yeah, ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus. Right. So that's.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I
mean, it's cheap. I mean,
Right.
considering all the content you get,
$5 a month is less awful than some.
yeah. I think I'm just more
So it's just
disappointed
$5
that that we don't get the discount for being season ticket holders to the Sounders
Right.
for MLS Live anymore.
yeah.
That was nice. Getting it for $30 a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That was good. Anything else? Any other questions for our good friend Mickey while we've got him?
Favorite alcohol, girly?
Favorite alcohol?
Let's see. I feel like this is good. Is that right?
Wait.
I feel like this is an incriminating.
Wait, what was the question?
Fruity girly colored drinks or beer?
Froofy, girly colored drinks. Yeah, see, I thought you said roofy, girly drinks, and I was like, wait a second, I want to know this story.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a different discussion entirely that I don't think we're ready to have tonight.
Should probably only have that conversation with your attorney.
And by your attorney, he means your attorney.
Yes. To answer the question, both.
Both
I've been known to have a foofy drink
nice,
on
foofy,
occasion.
foofy, brightly colored, fun drinks.
Do you want
And
to talk
beer.
about the
I'm not going to
drink?
incriminate myself.
Do you want
any
to talk
further.
about the drink that we had around 8:30 p.m. on Friday?
God, it was. I must have not, or I must have developed a aversion to Washington apple shots because I used to enjoy them quite a bit.
Katie,
Something has happened.
Can we get 4 Washington apples?
Oh, that sounds like a terrible idea. But they just don't do it. I don't like the taste anymore. I don't know what's happened.
Wait, they don't make a drink right at Fuel?
This was
We
a
weren't
temple.
at Fuel.
Oh.
But even the ones I've had
By
at
the way,
Fuel are
your-
just still not very good.
Your not yacht club that you got?
Was not good. I was so disappointed, dude. I had a wonderful
Do you want to talk about it?
Royal Bermuda Yacht Club at the pharmacy
That Ed made.
that Ed made. Which, if you go to the pharmacy, basement of Temple, just order a Yacht Club from Ed or whomever is there. It's a wonderful drink.
Fantastic.
And he had been doctoring that drink, and he's like, let's try it with this rum. And I was like, oh, that sounds awful. It's better. And then I came back, and I was like, I'd like another drink. And he's like, I don't know if I can workshop that anymore. I'll make you a Mai Tai instead. So I had this beautiful, froofy Mai Tai. That was wonderful. And then we downgraded to horrible Washington apple shots.
I don't know what it is.
And it was
I don't know
like
what it is.
we were in Pullman with Mark for his entire college experience, except it cost 10 times as much
Yeah,
money.
right.
Because Mark wasn't paying.
I'll have you know that my bartender made a very good Washington apple throughout my 8 years of college.
I can't decide. The best part was which one of that was the money comment. That the drinks were good or that it only took him 8 years. Because, like, the 8 years you're within that, like, what's the word, matriculation? Like, you're in that one registration for college thing.
I crammed
like
5 years into 4.
Wow. Do you want to have a Palouse conversation?
No,
No.
But could you remind me, by the way, next time on a weeknight not to go get drinks with Troy?
Did you know who didn't come to that?
A smart
Me.
person?
I got this text and we're like, we're going to Urban Bitter. 5 minutes. I didn't go.
After Larry and I had
Which night was that?
done wine. Thursday.
Thursday.
When was it? Thursday. Wednesday? Thursday.
Yeah. I didn't see it for like an hour and a half, and then I was super okay with having missed that text.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark got up at what time?
No, I still got it in time. That's working time.
What? Let's go back a week.
The week before, not so much.
So we went to S2,
Yes, we did. Mark picked Tom up.
and
We went to a brewery and bought sparkling cava,
It was a
we had
parking lot
sparkling
rosé
rosé in the
party,
parking lot.
both bottles.
which is going to be a thing.
We popped smoke post game. Guilty.
And you were scared of it. You didn't want it. You were a win.
I don't know if that's actually the story.
It's a while to talk you into it.
What did we do?
Anyway,
You thought you said pot.
and then
smoking.
Yeah.
and then we went to
I was like, wait a minute. No,
and then we went to Vito's.
Yeah.
And then Mark woke up at approximately what time?
10:30.
What time do you have to go to work?
I'm usually at work by 6.
So were you late?
I didn't feel well that day.
Yeah.
I mean, 10:30. My day is halfway over. I might as well just call it a day.
Yeah, right?
So let's skip ahead.
Fast forward.
Sounders,
I did skip ahead that
SKC.
evening. I skipped ahead all the way to 10:30 the next day.
Sounders, SKC this weekend. Ozzy Alonso is theoretically
Actually,
playing.
Spencer promised he'll be on.
he said he would feature
Right? Spencer promised.
in an interview on KGR.
Which means
I
he's
think
gonna
he said he would feature.
start.
in an interview.
He said he would
Wait.
play on Sunday.
So he will play.
He'll come on in the 90th plus
depending
one.
on
Right.
Pipper,
And score.
Yeah.
Because that's when
Probably.
you beat Kansas City.
Well, yeah, because our
Right.
defense scores our goals. Chad Marshall, Golden Boot winner.
We are actually in the
Front
season
runner.
when Chad Marshall might win the
Yeah,
Golden
right.
Boot with 3.
I'll take own goal at this point.
I can't even follow that up.
I got nothing. So,
Is there an award for like golden hand for the number of hand slaps and nut smacks and face slaps for all the red cards?
Well, are we talking the first team or across,
well, there is
across the
no-
organization?
But there is that like sportsmanship stuff.
Yeah, fair play, which we won that last year.
We are probably not going to win that.
No. Really?
Averaging a red card a game. Tends
Like, there
to
are teams who
kill
get
your
3 red
average.
cards the entire season.
The game is the year.
3 for 3!
Sounders are like, hold
Yeah.
my beer.
Yeah.
By the way, that'll be
And the beer's
record.
like this big.
$12.50.
Not
$12.50. Where are you shopping? At
Damn.
CenturyLink.
Like,
not a Hobbit-sized beer.
The bucket beer guy.
that is a super cute beer.
It really.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
$11.50.
All right, so
It's expensive.
there's a Sounders game. Alonso will feature, whatever that means, as of
Let's
today.
just not even do predictions on score. Let's predict who will get the red card. Because let's be honest with ourselves.
Who gets the red card?
Steph.
I'm going with Torres.
Oh my God, Fry!
Bry's gonna get the red card.
No!
It's not how that happened.
This seems like a bad idea.
Wouldn't that just,
absolutely the
wouldn't that
darkest
just be
And the best
matchup?
is, if it is, if you tweeted that you bet he was going to get the red card right now, he would favor that shit in like 10 minutes.
Wouldn't that be with ketchup?
Do you remember
should've
that time
left on the high
Mark
note.
just peaced
what?
out? Hey, Max.
Yeah, let's
Your
bring
microphone's
bring in the
attached
relief.
to the thing.
Welcome
bring
Max
the relief.
Aquino to
Yeah.
the show.
It's
The first
gotta pee,
of
too.
his name.
He is designated beer drinker. That's his job.
Gentlemen?
Salute.
Welcome. Cheers. Cheers.
I can't reach you.
Yeah. Constructively cheers you.
That's bad luck, dude.
I don't have a beer.
That's so sad. So she'd get
It's morally wrong not to have a Coop drinking at some point.
That's enough. Can we do it again?
There we go. All right, and we can proceed now.
Oh. Now that is very
All right, Max.
Do you want your beer back?
No. Max, do you have an opinion about this weekend's game?
I don't have high hopes, but I hope we win.
If you were to predict the recipient of the Sounders red card, who would it be?
Well, the easy one is Clint, but it probably won't be him. I'd say this time around it'll be. I'm going to go off the rails. I'm going to say Chad Marshall.
Ooh.
Is it a
Losing his
VAR
shit.
red card?
No.
Straight red?
Just straight red or
No,
two
here's
yellows?
the kicker, though. It's gonna be a straight red, and on VAR review, it should have been overturned, but they won't look at it.
Oh, wow.
I would probably go with Wally. What the hell is this?
No,
And-
no,
and-
no.
Wait, so just an update. Katie, our favorite waitress, has brought out. What have you brought us, Katie?
That's gotta go. Sounder shot without the blue.
Kate, what is it?
The Sounders shot.
The Sounders shot.
Blue.
Without the blue.
No blue Parasac, so.
Wow.
Hold on, I got to get a picture of this.
I
Yeah,
can't
take a photo.
drink.
Yeah.
Here,
Like,
Katie.
look at that.
It needs to be able to be seen on camera.
It's a tray.
Wait,
Tray
the
full
best
of
part
green.
is the Coug rolls up and says,
Yeah, right?
"Oh,
It's like,
Jesus."
Yeah, tray.
you.
Did we not just talk about what happened later in a week?
It's Monday.
Just
What?
call- yeah.
You got to work up
Is
to that.
this?
Fuck you.
Good for you. It's only Monday. It's pineapple shake.
Pineapple.
So, and I do have to
tasty. Don't spill it on
apologize.
your computer.
Don't
There
spell it
there
out.
is some documented proof to this, but I was the one who summoned Jimmy Jones. I said his name 3 times in a mirror, and he was there the next day. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Jimmy Jones, amazing.
So why does he make people so mad? Can somebody explain to me why?
Why does Jimmy Jones make
Because
people
they take
mad?
him seriously.
So he's like the PFT commenter. Guy.
Because
Yeah.
they don't like Garth, Lager, Herbs, and Whey.
No, but like I just literally don't understand like where it goes off of that.
Yeah.
No one knows. Let's drink.
Oh, we got a toast, right?
All right.
To a Sounders victory. How's that?
Yes, please.
To a Sounders victory and 0 red cards, no yellow cards, and no
To a
blue
Sounders
cards.
goal.
No.
Viewership has just plummeted.
Just green drinks,
Or gone straight up.
no cards.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Welcome to the green drink.
Oh, that's just
It's pretty good.
wonderful.
Wow.
Very sweet.
All right, so Chad Marshall red card.
Yep.
That should have been rescinded,
Yes.
But it's not.
but isn't.
But they won't look at it.
that is
Okay.
absolutely
They'll
brutal.
refuse to look at it.
Mark, what's your red card prediction officially?
Torres.
Torres Does he deserve it?
Oh yeah.
Can we
Headbutts.
clip that? We've been talking about doing in case you missed it moments on
Right.
SonarFeed for literally 2 years, and that should definitely be one because that guy will drive to your house.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it.
Get a
I'm
red
gonna
card.
call it right now. Torres sack tap to the ref.
To the red.
I'm leaving again. We're doing this show till 11:30 now. All right. All right. Official prediction.
For the game or red card?
Yes.
Red card.
Red card. I'm gonna be very cynical and depressing and go with McCrary, meaning we have no right backs to play the game.
I mean, we have too many left backs, so what the
Yes.
hell?
We have no forwards either, so fuck it.
Yeah. So I guess roll down. We'll go back and play right back.
Which
However,
one?
he will score. That'll
Which
be my
one?
positive prediction.
A
He will
goal?
Yes.
For us.
Yes. After the red card, roll down. We'll
Not our
score a
own goal.
No.
Okay. Adam, red card prediction.
Steph.
You're sticking with Steph.
Yes. After he scores a goal, the first goal of the season.
And then a red card.
Wow. I'm going to say Clint Dempsey.
Oh, jeez. I can imagine this shitstorm
It
that
actually
would
makes sense if you
follow
think
if
about
that
it.
comes
He scores a
comes
goal
true.
and then gets 2 yellows for time wasting.
Yeah, totally.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
How do I see that?
Going on Stumptown Footy after their loss, everyone hating Toledo. Oh my God, they hate it so much there.
Yeah.
Do we know who the ref assignment is for this weekend?
We could probably look that up.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, right.
Jerry, if you're
Somebody
watching, tell us what the ref
shitty.
assignment is for tonight, for Sunday.
Yeah.
So, real prediction.
Real prediction, I am predicting 0-0. That is my official
Mark.
prediction.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm gonna go 1-0 Sporting.
Adam.
I'm looking at and they're at the top right now. I'm just
6
saying.
games played.
Yep.
That's only double. 13 points.
We have 0 points. 0 points.
It's more fun if you look at it like this.
Yeah, that's even more fun.
If you scroll to the Shield viewing,
Right.
yeah.
That seems like a terrible thing.
Don't do it.
I'm going to say 13-0.
13 to nothing? That's how many points they have versus the
Did I
Sounders.
misread that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try again.
I'm going to agree with Mark. I don't agree
said
with Mark
1-0.
often. Well, it's going to be difficult because we're going to lose Steph.
That's true.
And Brad Evans isn't there to come in and play keeper.
Right?
All
What are we
those
gonna do?
Tide Pods.
Seriously, he's literally eating Tide Pods right now. Stop talking. I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay.
What do you think the reaction is if we don't score yet again?
I mean, when you say the reaction, do you mean by
Sounder-
people like me who are
Sounders.
panicking?
Yes, yes. Yes, Sounders.
I've been panicking since December.
Okay, so what broke me?
Remind me on Monday to bring a picnic basket to SonarFeed.
Do you want to just come up here?
No, so
You could just come around. Come on.
Yeah, yes.
Hey, I wasn't panicking until Schmetzer tonight.
That's Teclanica.
Scoot in. We can't see you.
Schmetzer tonight on the radio was saying like, oh, well, you know, how do I really feel right now? I feel pretty anxious. And there's something about Schmetzer admitting that he's like, I'm not panicking, but I'm really anxious. That just, yeah.
I heard that as well.
And that word I was like, oh, fuck, Schmetzer's not putting a good face?
Yeah, I there's pressure there, so that's not wholly surprising. But usually he holds a poker face better than that. So I don't know if he's feeling some pressure from the front office. I can't imagine he is at this point because he's got 2 MLS Cup appearances and 1 victory.
Yeah.
So after 3 games, I can't see that they're saying, you're on a short leash. But 0-3 with no goals and 2 losses at home can't
Not
inspire
great.
any confidence. And Garth's, he's up for a vote this year.
How do you think that's going to go?
I think he'll
Is there
prevail.
There's a minimum
Yeah.
of votes, right?
That is an excellent question. I do not know. An Alliance person would know that probably better than I.
I'm going to say right now, like it's not just like this group or Saturday at Heart commenters or Reddit or whatever.
By the way, if there's not a
It's
fan post
pretty
about it, it
negative.
didn't happen.
That's accurate. It's pretty negative right now.
I would
Like
agree.
when there are people who say, I've had 4 tickets, or I was the 7th person to buy a season ticket in 2009, and I think I'm going to ditch my tickets or whatever, the 4th person.
Why didn't you buy them in 2008?
Anyway, when like people who aren't, let's say, publicly visible all the time are like creating internet accounts to comment and may or may not be real, like all that could be bullshit. But when
Assuming it
those
is.
types of people are showing up, that's when you go, I don't know, like, do you survive this right now?
I think they ultimately will.
I think
They
Adrian
have
would be
10 years
super
of-
pissed
yeah.
if Garth got voted out right now.
Well, I think that's true.
Like, angry.
Because that's that would be sort
Like
of an
Hulk
indictment
level
of his,
angry.
He's the one that hired Garth, obviously. I still, I don't see him not being retained unless it's an absolute, a Galaxy-like season, which I can't really see at this point.
You mean like last
Yeah,
year?
last
Yeah.
year's Galaxy, finishing last. So
Megan, by the way, points out that Schmetzer is going to get the red. Come on.
I see. I had that thought as well.
I would love to see anything even remotely close to a ref throwing Schmetzer
Well, I
out.
I can see it if the game goes sideways and he decides he needs to be thrown out.
So the 35th minute.
Yeah. If he decides he needs to take, Well, let's
Brad
not both-
Evans hat trick.
Yeah, right.
Shit just gets real.
Whoa. We gotta stay within the realm of possibility here.
Evans scored a couple goals for us last year, didn't he?
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But I can see him get tossed out if things go really sideways in that game.
so we're mixed. We're mixed to negative right
Yes,
now.
I would say so.
Dude, I moved out of Kirkland because Brad left.
And then you moved out of First Hill because
My roommate left.
yo, check it out. Mark is moving to the bougie AF neighborhood of
Portage Bay.
What?
yeah.
I'm gonna kayak my ass over.
Check him out on his kayak every morning.
to Agua Verde.
Like some people go to Agua Verde to rent kayaks. Mark's gonna just kayak over for like a margarita
And
then
chips and
kayak
salsa.
back
Do you have to pedal backwards when you're kayaking
You
back
do.
home?
across the.
Because you went like this
I'll bring my GoPro.
backwards.
He's gonna get hit by his
Stepdad.
stepdad's boat. He's just gonna cut him right in half.
That or Big Dave's Boeing yacht, the Daedalus. Fucking run me over in the cut.
Anyway. All right. Do we have anything else productive that we want to talk about tonight? I mean, I kind of want to talk about
Have we
this
talked
for the
about
rest of
anything
the night.
productive tonight?
Yeah, right.
Not really.
S2 on Wednesday, right? Is that
S2 Wednesday, Saturday.
Oh my God, both days.
Yeah, both days, home days.
Shit is getting real.
Are y'all gonna show up?
And then
Probably Saturday.
Yep. Come down.
Why is LAFC going to be the best Saturday this year?
Come down.
LAFC is going to be awesome.
If you come down and hang out for a little while, we
Super
can go
Bowl's new
to
stadium.
Red Hot after.
Actually, this is a good conversation. So tell us about LAFC.
Well, we're still working on the fine details.
Actually, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that is also it's true. That is. There's no more
Nailed it.
Yeah, no more traversing to Carson. So that'll be fun, and we're working on some.
What's the closest In and Out?
You're talking to the wrong person for that one.
God damn it!
There's
If
one
you're
in
gonna travel monkey this, travel monkey
Inglewood.
it right.
I'd say Inglewood.
Yeah, it's not that convenient from there.
I would go to Inglewood
Yeah,
and not go to In-N-Out.
Oh, wow.
Roscoe's.
Bold choice.
Yeah,
That's a good
you and I are on the
God.
same level here.
I would not go to In and Out myself most of the time.
Are you a communist?
Maybe.
I think he was just
If you
commenting.
said "da," I was just going to rip all of the cords out of your computer.
I have an after-hours joke to make about that.
Mark, the show ended at 9.
I can't decide what after hours means, so we're just going to continue. All right, so we got SKC Sunday at 1. A week ago, or a week later, we have Minnesota home. We have Minnesota at home. A week from then at 6 p.m., LAFC. Many people are going in Saturday. If you're going to that game, it is supposed to be one of the worst Disney days of like a 6-month period.
That's why I'm going Friday.
That's
I think
Saturday.
people are going Monday or Friday. Is my
Monday
understanding.
definitely popular. But there's like a forecast of Disney disaster.
And that's it.
Saturday is real high.
Stay away. Stay far away.
What's going on that day at the Disneyland?
It's just like the time of year.
Okay.
All the characters will
like
be
all
there.
the weather,
Yeah.
other shit.
Perfect storm of Disney.
That's right
hell.
around when the marine layer
Starts burning.
smog burns off. It's not a marine layer. Ever.
I had no idea. TIL.
So, Sean Wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then a week later is Hat Week.
Hat week.
Hat Week!
Let the shout out. Yeah, I'm gonna shout out to the Columbus folks. I'm gonna have a treatise on why they should lose that game.
Do you say treatise?
Yes, treatise, like a legal treatise.
Well done. So I'm going to miss the day after LAFC, but I'll be back that next Monday after Hat Week.
Let me guess. Hawaii?
Yeah.
You bastard.
And then away Toronto,
I hope you get sand in
and then away Portland,
your
Urethra.
throats.
and
I wasn't
then
gonna go
time
that far.
off,
That's very.
and then RSL Memorial Day weekend.
Damn, Adam.
What? The Portland.
It's the 100.
Yeah, Portland away. Which, by the way, where are tickets right now? They open for everybody yet?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are ECS.com. Tickets for everyone are open. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that it is. If not, it's coming very soon, but I'm pretty sure it's open. It's Mother's Day. Mother's Day, 100th all-time Sounders Portland match. Adam's like, I'm not going.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
That's a really tough call.
So
Keep
on
in mind
Mother's
that
Day
I
at
have
this
4
point,
children.
do you buy Heidi a new car or 4 new cars?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Sorry, love. You get the kids today on Mother's Day. I'm going to a soccer game.
That sounds like
I won't be seeing you
That sounds like a
guys.
poor life choice.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually thinking of the RSL doing a road trip on that one. Because that's a fun trip. It's
Memorial
reasonable.
Day weekend.
I thought, is Portland Memorial Day or
No, RSL is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, I'm probably out for that one.
Unless somebody wants to sell me all of their tickets, and then I'll take all the family. And
That
leave Heidi at
sounds
home alone.
expensive.
I'll take all 4 kids and leave Heidi alone, and it will be like a vacation spa
Right?
day. That's the other option.
Yeah, there's. Yeah.
You just described when Tom's at work and Beth has a day off.
Beth just dances around. Yay, no Tom. Good
I'm
day.
just going to not comment
Okay.
at all, pretty much. All right, so a bit of an off and on. We play more games, and it's slightly less clunky than it's been the last, 2 months of Sounders?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
That'll be
Still
nice.
not a lot of home.
Because we were too busy crashing out of the CCL.
Right. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Fair. All right, so we've got 2 S2 games. We have Sounders on Sunday away. And then we are going to have an unfortunate show on Monday here, are we not?
You just talked about only 30 players total.
Well, considering you're also
Over
going
those
to have
3
to use
matches.
your laptop for the show on Monday.
No, we're getting the Mevo from you.
Okay.
You just talked about 30 players total over 3 matches.
I'm just gonna stop talking.
Good night, everybody. This has been SonarFeed. Be back here, same Sonar time.
Same Sonar
Ish.
channel.
Ship baby dubs.
Baby
Fuck you.
dubs.
Dude, he's cute.
Baby dubs. Maybe I
Yeah,
should just
but
crop baby dubs.
You're not
and put
the
'em over
University of
Mark's.
Washington Malmutes.
Oh my God! Every episode from now on is getting
Fucking-
baby dubs over Mark, and we're gonna have it track with Mark's movement. You would never know.
Fucking hate
Adam
you.
is literally working on this right now.
Go gadget virus.
I mean, you
seems a
probably
little,
could send a Go-Go Gadget virus across the room.
I don't know what I'm pushing.
Hey, that's me when I'm producer.
We should probably just end the show.
You want to end the show now? What do you?
Yeah.
How do we end the show?
Bye.
You can trust me.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Okay. Good night. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Fuck you, Tom.